What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new DVD slash Blu-ray 4K update for the months of January, February 2022. So yeah, this is everything I picked up in basically in 2022. So yeah, if you probably noticed, there was no intro. I got to get rid of that intro because I've been getting flagged so bad from that intro recently, man. I had like every update I've ever had that intro on flagged. I was getting flagged by YouTube and other YouTubers. I never understood that, why somebody would click onto a video that says horror movie update and then be offended by the intro that is the movies that you're supposed to be interested in. I don't understand that at all. It's mind-blowing to me. But I had like something like 120 something 31 days of horror videos flagged recently. It was just ridiculous. I'm like, this is crazy. So it's time to make a new intro anyways. Maybe I'll just go a little lighter on the gore, even though it's not really my personality to downgrade shit, but it's been years since I've been using that. So anyways, let's get into the update. We'll start with the DVDs as usual, then we'll get into the mixed bag of Blu-rays and 4Ks. Yeah, let's get into this. It's probably going to take a while. I'm trying to make this short. It's been a fucking long ass day, man. I'm tired from the gym. I've been going ape shit today, and it's 7 o'clock, and I just want to sit down and watch a movie. But all right, so first up here for Full Moon, we got Trancers 4. I've been waiting for Trancers 4 and 5 and possibly 6 to come out on Blu-ray, and they're just not coming. But I actually needed to watch Trancers 4 and 5 in prep for the 1994 show, to rewatch these films. I hadn't seen them in years. So I just decided to pick up the DVDs because they were really cheap, like super, super cheap. So they'll probably get announced on Blu-ray next week. You know how that works. I know Matt is definitely a victim of that every time he finds something. You and your horror movies. Shout out to Matt from You and Your Horror Movies. But yeah, Trancers 4 and 5 were actually shot together, and it's like Band just split the budget he had for 1 into 2. The quality of Trancers films goes right down the tube with Trancers 4 and 5, but there is some redeemable qualities. They're really not that great at all, but they're kind of entertaining. Like a lot of Full Moon movies from this era. In fact, 94 had like 10. I think they put out 10 films in 94. All pretty decent, actually. So, but yeah, Trancers 4, Jack of Swords, it's okay. And then Trancers 5, Sudden Death, which, yeah, it's more or less just more the same. It's just super low budget, just feels rushed. These are really short, too. I think they're only like 70 minutes a piece, so hence the two movies shot at one time. But yeah, Trancers 5, maybe they'll come to Blu-ray, and then I'll have to upgrade them because I'm crazy like that. All right, so yeah, then we got Oblivion. This is one I hadn't seen since the 90s, actually, man. I had not seen this movie forever, and it's like this weird kind of sci-fi western. It quite possibly could be a lot better than it turned out to be, but I still get a little bit of enjoyment out of this movie for some odd reason. It's funny. It's got the dude from... actually, it's got Meg Foster in it, which was kind of interesting to see Meg Foster in this film. What's the dude from... I can't remember his name, but he was from the original Star Trek series. He actually makes a Star Trek joke in this, and it's pretty funny, actually. But yeah, Oblivion, it's okay for what it is. So that's the Full Moon stuff. Moving on to some SRS, some of their retro home video line. First up, we got Transgression, the director's cut. This is one I've actually been looking forward to checking out, and I was surprised that SRS was just releasing this too, because I needed to watch it for 94, so I'm like, perfect timing. Yeah, I really like this line. I like the artworks that they're doing for these. Most of these are like shot on video films, like from the 80s and 90s. But they have released some newer ones also. So, but yeah, Transgression, the director's cut, is more or less like it's like a drama. It's like a psychological drama is probably the best way to put it, with horror elements to it. Shot on video, and it's actually pretty well done for what it is. It's basically about this reporter that wants to learn more about the serial killer, and she gets a little bit more than she bargained for and stuff. It's decent. I would definitely say it's probably one of the more better shot on video film. I don't know what the fuck that was. Better. Yeah, but like better shot on video film, if that makes any sense. But I don't know. I I enjoyed this for what it is. It's got a little bit of boring parts, but it's decent though. It's different. It's different than the usual shot on video film, if that makes any sense. But you just don't see a lot of movies like this. So yeah, Transgression, the director's cut, pretty cool. Next up here we got Daddy. I'm not sure. I think this is like a new. I could be totally tripping balls. I think this is like a later. I think it might be from the later '90s. Actually, it's like towards the end of like the shot on video type thing. But yeah, that artwork pretty cool. I really like this line, man. You know, and I'm a big fan of shot on video films, so I had no intentions of collecting these until they just kept releasing stuff I wanted. So I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I've done a lot of research on shot on video films over the years, and I was like just shocked to find some of these that were coming out. It's crazy. Then we got Night Feeder, which I've seen before. I think I have an older DVD of this. I remember this being pretty decent for what it is, and I don't remember if this is shot on video. I think it is. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I can't remember. Let me know if you remember, if you've seen the film before. But yeah, I remember this movie being pretty decent. Yeah. Anyways, I'm having brain farts right now, but Night Fear, that artwork right there, without the glare, is pretty cool. If you can see through the damn glare, but that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then the last up for the SRS home video, SRS Cinema ones, is Night, the Final Cut, which I actually knew nothing about. So all my research really pays off, right? No, I actually didn't know anything about this one. Screen test from 99, so I'm thinking this is another later 90s kind of one. Again, pretty cool artwork. Don't know much about it though, so looking forward to checking that out. Maybe some of these films I'll do during the 31 Days of Horror this year, which I'll most likely do. All right, so getting into a couple of the last DVDs here. They're all from the Ronin Streamline from Wild Eye. And we got Dead Fury, which I actually have another copy of this from Unearthed releases. The animation is so weird in this, and I remember people always being like, man, the animation just ruins it. It's just so bad. It's been so long since I've seen this that I'm looking at the screen cuts on the back there, and I'm just like, man, it does look weird. It's been so long. I think I actually might have watched this movie a little bit intoxicated one night, so I don't really remember too well, but yeah, so that's kind of a weird, not side grade. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but stupid number things, number 60. But yeah, so Wild Eye, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Wild Eye released a bunch of animated films all in a row here, and it was just kind of, it was weird to see that. I don't know anything about this, but Shock Invasion, 100% animated gore movie. Now, that really caught my attention because I love animated films in general, right? I'm a huge DC animated fan. I just like cartoons. I like animation. I like fucking anything, man. This film was actually from the same director of Dead Fury. So it looks like it has very similar animation. So if I remember correctly, that one being pretty terrible. I guess this isn't going to be just as bad, but I don't know anything about this one, Shock Invasion. So, and then we got Tales of the Dim, 100% animated gore, and this is also from the same director, and the animation looks exactly the same. So they obviously struck a deal with Frank Sudol and put out all his movies. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe these ones will be better than Dead Fury, but maybe I'm remembering Dead Fury wrong. But I don't think I am. I don't know. Then we got Wrong Side of the Tracks, and I believe that, yeah, this is from 2017, and I think that this one also may have had another DVD. It's directed by Dustin Ferguson, which yeah, I've seen a couple films of his before, and they were not good, so not really expecting a whole lot from this one. But Wrong Side, I might even have seen this one. I just don't know. I watch so many movies sometimes, the names, and sometimes they get released under different titles. Yeah. Then we got Runaway Nightmare. This is from 2018, also directed by Dustin Ferguson. Yeah, don't know much about it. And these are sealed because, yeah, I haven't dug into these. So, but yeah. And this is one that I actually know quite a bit about because I love this movie, and I was shocked to see this was getting released on the Ronin Streamline, and that's Chocolate Strawberry Vanilla. I have another DVD of this, directed by Stuart Simpson, who's done 3 fantastic movies in my opinion. I think I've reviewed them all on my channel at one point or another. But Yeah, this is a really good character study of this kind of psychotic dude right here. It's really good, man. I don't want to really say too much about it, but you got to check this out. It's a really good film. This is probably legitly the best movie released on Raw and Streamline, even though it's been released before. I think in the UK. I don't know if there was a Region 1 Blu-ray. I know there's a Region 2. I have the Region 2 DVD. But anyways, Chocolate Strawberry Vanilla. I highly recommend this, man. Really do. So check it out. Great film. All right, so that's it for the DVDs. We'll start off here with a couple just non-horror related items on Blu-ray. And then we'll get into what most people come for the video. No one ever complains about the non-horror stuff, though. All right, so first up here is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Got like, oh, which is Stay Tuned. Rest in peace to my man, John Ritter. Fuck, man, I still remember the day he passed away. I was so bummed out. I always loved John Ritter, man, and everything. He just had that personality that was so infectious. But Stay Tuned is like, if you've never seen Stay Tuned, it's basically John Ritter's character. He's addicted to TV, and he gets basically stuck in TV land, you know, going from channel to channel and shit. And it's, if you're from this era of TV and shit, like all these jokes just hit so hard, especially the end credits when they're doing like all these kind of ridiculous jokes and shit. But there's so much like that makes a lot more sense if you came from this era. I mean, it would still make sense, but it just would be a lot better if you did. But Stay Tuned is just a fantastic movie, man. I absolutely love this. It's so entertaining from top to bottom. And I don't know why it took me so long to upgrade this, but I think it's because the price was ridiculous. These Sony DVD Blu-rays up here are ridiculous. They're so expensive. I don't know what the deal is with them. But another upgrade, which is Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, I love Kindergarten Cop. This is one of the last couple Arnie movies I need to just upgrade. I got about 2 or 3 more to go. I've just been kind of putting them off because they're upgrades. But I came across this for like $7, still sealed. So I was like, you know what? I got to grab Kindergarten Cop because it's awesome. It's Kindergarten Cop. It's good shit. All right, so then I don't know if a lot of people, like my American friends or even my friends from overseas and stuff, have ever heard of these movies. But I highly recommend these because they're super funny. It's a very offbeat depiction of Canadians, but to a certain degree, it actually does capture the very metal, skiddly type Canadians out there. And I know people like this as I'm talking with my long ass hair and shit, but man. So we got Fubar. Now, if you've never heard of Fubar before, it's basically about these 2 dudes and they're dumb as shit. They're rockers. They're total fucking skids. They're always drinking pilly, doing stupid shit. And it's pretty much all I'm going to say, but it's so entertaining, man. It's just ridiculously over the top and just so much fun. Like the way they talk and just the scenarios that they're put in and shit is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, man. I can't recommend this enough. This is probably one of the most outrageous Canucksploitation films out there because it really only depicts a small percentage of Canadians, and it does have a lot. It's funny because these guys are like representing Alberta, but they're saying shit like a boot and shit, and I'm like, man, we don't talk like that over on the West Coast here. But Fubar, I highly recommend it, man. It's fucking awesome. It's so much fun. And then of course we got Fubar 2, the sequel, which is just a lot of fun in itself too. They end up in like Fort Mac, and oh man, it's ridiculous. There's some really good parts in this, but yeah, and the storyline kind of carries over from the first one into this one. So it does have continuity and shit, which is pretty cool. But highly recommend these. Actually, the second one, which it never said it did, but it actually does come with the first movie. So, but they were like $5 or $6 a piece. So I was like, shit, gotta have them. Upgrades again. So, all right, let's get into the horror stacks here. So first up here is Godzilla vs. Kong. Some people are going, Godzilla's not horror. It's not horror. If you listen to the podcast, you get that joke. Fuck it, man. They're monster movies. They're fucking horror films. Godzilla vs. Kong. Believe it or not, I still haven't even seen this. I've been wanting to sit down and watch this, but I've been doing so much prep for the 1994 show and other shows and just other. I'm just busy, and I really just want to kind of sit down and think this might be a film, maybe Saturday night or something like that for me. But I've been really wanting to check it out. I've been hearing lots of mixed things. Of course, everybody always has to comment on the story sucks. Are we really fucking here for the story? It's a Godzilla vs. Kong movie, man. Get real. Fucking ridiculous, man. But Kong vs. Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, the 4K. Finally, actually, the reason why it took me so long to pick this up is because the price was never going down. The Blu-ray or the 4K was like at $32 forever, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is this shit not going down? And then it finally went down to like 19, and I was for the 4K, and I was like, fuck it, I'm grabbing it. So, and I think it actually went back up. So I don't know what the hell the deal is with some of these titles. They just never go down because it's Warner Brothers. I don't know. Their title's stupid. But yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong. Picked up a copy of, well, upgraded Interview with the Vampire. I hadn't seen this movie. Oh man, it had been a long time. I don't think... No, I'd watch my DVD for sure. But I used to have this on VHS. Man, that white really does not show up well. The white fucks up the camera. Like all these last titles have been all white. This artwork sucks too. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of it. I kind of like the original artwork, but anyways, this was like $5 on Blu-ray. So I had to pick it up for $94, rewatch it and stuff, and you know, it's a decent film. It's not really my bag of tea, my cup of tea, my bag of tea. I guess that still works, right? And has nothing to do with the fact that it has Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise in it, and actually Antonio Banderas is in this movie. I completely had forgot about that when I was watching it. I was like, oh shit, yeah, he shows up in here. I'm a big Christian Slater fan, especially from back in these days, so I wish he actually had a bigger role in the film. But overall, man, it's a decent film. It's not horribly made or nothing, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, so I mentioned this last update that I had ordered this double pack from Umbrella and it got lost. So I actually got refunded on this. And this thing showed up after 3.5 months randomly. Like like I got my money back like a month prior. Just kind of wrote it off. Glad I never reordered it, and it showed up. So I guess, which is very odd because you guys know the woes I've had with shipping. I lost something like 30-something packages. None of those things showed up except for this one. So maybe they'll just sporadically show up throughout the year. Yeah, right. Random, and it showed up in good shape, not broken. The package was fine. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, it's just crazy. So now I'm on to my third copy on Blu-ray of Death Wish 2. And I've got I've got 4 or 5 copies overall of Death Wish 2. Death Wish 3, which is my favorite. I've got multiple copies of that, second on Blu-ray. But I just wanted these double packs. I love them, how they are. They're pretty cool. And I'm a big fan of Umbrella, so, but we all know these films. But yeah, Death Wish 3 is my favorite. It's so ridiculously over the top. It's such a stupid movie. I love it. All right, we got Ghost Riders here from MVD. Yeah, I just did a review for this. So if you guys want to know more about Ghost Riders, check out the review that I just posted a couple days ago. It's some Western horror. You know, check out the review. All right, so moving on to some Unearthed Films here. We got Tokyo Decadence from the classic line. This one's from 1991, and you know, I'm not sure if it's 100% from 91. Maybe it's 90 or 92. I don't know, because sometimes the years are wrong. We go by the IMDb dates when we do retro years, because it just makes it a lot easier to prep for shows and makes everyone's list be kind of cohesive. So I didn't watch this one for 91 prep, and I mean, when you got guys like Mr. Parker on the show, like he's, you know, like we do a lot of research into this shit, and like he'll compile like a list of like 500 movies, and I don't remember seeing this. I don't think he watched either, so I don't know if it qualified for 91. But anyways, I don't really know much about this one. I honestly don't know much about this one. One of the special features is the English language dub. That's amazing. 112 minutes, yeah, just like a lot of these Japanese films, right? Super long. But let me know if you guys have seen this one down there. I know Dave, Mr. Parker, he just recently reviewed this one, or at least he watched it, and I don't think he gave it that great of a score, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. But Tokyo Decadence, really like this this classics line that they're doing. It's fantastic, man. Finally got in my Maniac 4K that the wife bought me for Christmas. She actually ordered this like, I don't know, sometime in November, and it finally just shipped from Unobstructed View here in Canada. And yeah, I got it a couple days ago. It was like the most random shit. No slipcover. I'm not really too worried about it. I think this is like I want to say I'm over 15, maybe 16 copies of Maniac now. Like, it's just out to lunch, and that one's for you, Dave. And he's probably not watching, but that's another joke from the podcast. But yeah, I have way too many copies, so I haven't checked it out on 4K yet. You know, I don't expect it to look pristine because it's Maniac. It's always looked muddy and shit like that, but it's Maniac, and I just have to have another copy because Well, I don't have to have another copy. That's just ridiculous to say. But I do have another one here because I'm stupid. No, I just love Blue Underground's amazing. All right, so moving over to Fractured Visions, we've got the amazing Freehand for a Tough Cop with the homies, Thomas Milian. I'm one of the biggest Thomas Milian. That guy's cadence is so amazing on screen. There's something about that guy that is just so likable in everything he does. He can be a dick on screen and he's still likable. It's amazing. But Thomas Milian, Claudio Casanelli, and Henry Silva, you know this shit is going to be off the hook. Directed by my fucking man, Umberto Lenzi. So you know this shit's going to be an amazing, Italian crime film. Poliziesque film. I can never say that word properly, so don't correct me. Poliziesque. I don't know. Type film. It's got a ridiculous storyline, and it actually has, Thomas Milian's character, Manenza, who he actually played that character really in a couple different films because it became like super famous and shit. So he's like a criminal in this, and Claudio Casanelli is this, he's a cop who likes to kind of, do shit his own way. Anyways, this girl gets kidnapped who's got like kidney issues and shit like that. And of course, there's like a ransom and stuff. Henry Silva's gang does this. Anyways, the thing is, like, she needs to be back on dialysis. She needs her medicine and shit like that, or else she's gonna die. So he's like, it's like a race against the clock. So he breaks out Thomas Milian's character. He doesn't just get him out of jail. He breaks him out of jail because he's all connected with the underworld and shit like that, and to help him out with this case. It's like a ridiculous storyline. It kind of almost has like a 48 hours kind of thing happening, really, now when I think about it. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Because this is way before, what is this, 76? Yeah, 76 this came out in. But yeah, fantastic movie, man. It's really entertaining. Henry Silva was literally born to be a bad guy. Like, you can't get any more bad guy looking, and he's such a great actor. He just pulls it off so well. Like, he's the ultimate bad guy looking dude. Yeah, I'm really liking these releases from Fractured Visions, man. They're doing a good job. So, more of these, more Lenzi crime films, because I love Lenzi in general, and I love his crime films too, man. They're awesome. So, highly recommend that. All right, so moving into some Full Moon shit. Picked up Shrunken Heads, also from 1994. This was just another... Actually, this wasn't an upgrade. I realized I didn't actually own Shrunken Heads. Out of all the Full Moon movies I have, I didn't own Shrunken Heads on DVD. I was like, what the fuck? I think it's because I always thought I had it, so I just never grabbed it on DVD, and then the Blu-ray came out, so I was like, fuck it. And this was cheap, too. So, this is still the weirdest movie, man. It's like voodoo. These three teenagers get killed, and the voodoo dude, like, does some shit to them, and now he gets revenge with their heads, and there's, like, heads flying around. It's fucking ridiculous. It's such a stupid movie, but I love it. It's so fantastic, man. It's a really fun movie. And this is actually a Full Moon movie I don't really hear people talk about. Maybe because it is so damn goofy with flying heads and shit. And the effects are hilarious. They're so bad. But it's so much fun. I highly recommend Shrunken Heads. Really fun one from 94. And also I upgraded Lurking Fear, because I actually really like this movie, from 94. Also for a rewatch. And it really does look good on Blu-ray. I was surprised. And that's the thing with the old... Full Moon DVDs, like an upgrade to Blu-ray, even if the transfer's not pristine, it's still going to be at least in widescreen, because like everything that they released before, like Troma, was always in full screen, even in the the widescreen TV age. So for the most part of the early 90s stuff, they just kind of upkeep their VHSs to DVD and stuff like that. But at least the Blu-rays are better, to get, because you get the new transfers and shit. So at least you're guaranteed the widescreen for the most part. But Lurking Fear, fun film. I like the creatures in this movie, man. I think the creatures actually look pretty damn cool. I like these kind of like housed up, and you got to fight off creatures and shit like that. And I like these type of storylines, man. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. So another good watch from 94. All right, moving into a couple Troma flicks. Surf Nazis Must Die. I was really actually kind of stoked that this was getting a Blu-ray release, but then I saw the new commission artwork's actually not that bad, but man, it's not the original, man. I love the original artwork so much, so obviously going to keep my DVD for that, but yeah, Surf Nazis Must Die. I'm not going to really talk about this too much because I do have a review already recorded for this, so it'll be up in a couple days. Back on the review train. So Surf Nazis Must Die from Troma. Yeah. Then I also picked up Troma's War. I finally upgraded Troma's War. I haven't seen this movie in such a long time. Like, I'm having a hard time even remembering the movie. It's crazy. It's been so long. But I thought I'd upgrade it. And of course, it doesn't have... It's new commission artwork, which is cool. I think it looks okay for what it is. But it's been a minute on Troma's War. And then upgraded also Sergeant Kabuki-man, NYPD. Such a goofy-ass film. But, you know... I like Troma-produced films quite a lot, actually. I know a lot of people don't, but, you know, this is definitely one of the more goofy, kind of outrageous films. It's kind of on the same lines as, like, Funny Man. Like, just for goofiness. It just... And I mentioned Funny Man because I just rewatched that the other day. Actually, the YouTube. I sound like I'm a fucking 100 years old. What channel is the Netflix? Yeah, no, Funny Man, if you want to check that band, that has a great transfer on YouTube. High def, like, beautiful. Way better than the old Subversive DVD. But anyways, Sergeant Man, Kabuki Man. Still a fun film. Been a while since I've seen that. Moving on to some Severin titles. Picked up Night of the Demon. I don't have the slipcover. I actually didn't like the slipcover at all. So I reversed it to this because I like this artwork. I can't remember if this is... I can't even remember what the original VHS is. I'm pretty sure it's not that one. It might even be this, actually. The original. I think this might be. I can't remember. But Night of the Demon is basically a slasher Bigfoot film. Yeah, it's got some very memorable kills. This movie has some balls, if you know what I'm saying. That was a terrible joke. Especially if you've seen the movie. That was awful. But Night of the Demon, it's one of those movies that just, like, you got to see it to believe it. This was actually on the Video Nasty's ban list. Yeah, it was on the... I'm pretty sure... It doesn't say it on the back here. Oh, it actually... But that's one of the cool features on here. It actually comes with Ban the Sadist videos Part 1 and 2. And I don't know if they released Part 2. Maybe they had released it on another feature before. But I know Ban the Sadist videos have been on a couple other features on films from Severin. But I can't remember Part 2, so I don't know if I've seen that. So I'm going to have to check that out. But... Lots of features on here. Double disc. Really good release, man. Transfer looks as good as it's probably ever going to look. Night of the Demon. Highly recommend this. It's, oh my god. I keep thinking about the windmill. The sleeping bag kill. It's ridiculous. It's just so funny how it happens, but... Night of the Demon. Alright, so this is actually a first time watch for me. I've always known about this film, but never saw it. I don't know why I never seen this movie. And this is what I love about cinema, is even though I knew about this one, it's amazing that I had never seen this, because I get so excited for shit like this. And that's Perdita Durango. Man, this is such a fucking awesome movie, man, with Rosie Perez, Javier Bardem. It's just action-packed craziness. It's so fucking awesome, man. Man, Rosie Perez is just batshit in this movie, man. So is fucking Javier Bardem. Like, I don't really want to talk about it too much, but holy shit bags. This movie's nuts, dude. Like, just what happens with it, and there's just awkward rape scenes, and oh man, this movie's crazy, dude. It's so crazy. It's such a good one. But, you know, for a movie I'd never seen before, holy shit, dude. It's one of the best first time watches I've had in a long time for an older film. So this movie's actually from 97, I think it is, or something like that. I think it's from 97. Yeah, 97. Shit. It's awesome. Good looking 4K too. And then finally, one of the last, I think this was on the Section 2 list. Delirium. I was shocked. I ordered this on Amazon. I got a slipcover for it, which I actually don't mind the slipcover. The slipcover it's simple and it's very nice. The colors are really nice. I don't know. It's actually a very nice slipcover. But, you know, that artwork right there is fantastic, too. Delirium is a very strange... It's a strange kind of cop slasher film, hybrid... Yeah, okay, conspiracy drama. Like, there's a lot of shit that's going on in this. There's a lot of social commentary that's going on in this, too, and shit like that. Is it a great movie? Not really. It's entertaining, though. I'm very glad to have this, because this was one of the last 3. I think there's only 2 more that don't have releases from the Section 1 and 2 lists. And there's 2 left, Hugs and Kisses and one other one. And all the original 73 from the Section 1 and 2 lists have been released now. uncut and shit like that. So on physical media. So yeah, this was a very exciting to get. But yeah, that slipcover is actually quite nice. All right, so getting into a couple Arrow titles, we got Deadly Games. Again, I'm not going to talk about this too much. I just did a review for this also, so check out that review. I did this one after the other one that I just did, Ghost Riders. So this one went up, I think, yesterday. Whenever you watch this video, day before. So yeah, Deadly Games, early 1982 slasher film with Steve Railsback. Yeah, check out the review with the amazing Steve Railsback, I should add. I love that guy. And then I picked up Shock. Finally, Shock finally gets a release on Blu-ray. Like, are you kidding me? I think this is the only Mario Bava film that never had like a really good release. Well, he's got a couple of westerns that really don't have good releases, but Last of the horror films definitely, and his crime films, whatever, that didn't have a good release. So Arrow gave us the Blu-ray treatment here. I always wondered why, like, if Blue Underground still had the rights, because I know they put out the DVD here and stuff. But yeah, also known as Beyond the Door 2, which is ridiculous. That has nothing to do with the Beyond the Door. But yeah, Shock, which is a fantastic movie, man. It's just Dario Nicoletti is in this film, and you know, it's just, the score is one of the most amazing things about this movie, man. The score is just fantastic. But I really enjoyed this movie. It used to get shit on a lot. I think it's because Mario Bava, I think he got sick while he was doing this film, and I know that Lamberto actually stepped in at one point. Maybe it's in the features a little bit, and I think he helped kind of finish this film before he did Macabre and stuff in the 80s. But yeah, the original artwork's fantastic. This slipcover is ugly as sin. This is terrible. This is like one of the worst slipcovers I probably just gonna toss that out. People are like, no, you can't do it. Sell it to me for $27 because slipcovers are worth gold. Oh my god, people are absolutely insane over slipcovers. It's just, it blows my... I'm sitting on a fucking gold mine in slipcovers, man. So next up here from Kino. So we're into the Kino classics here. We got one I've never seen before, God's Gun, Lee Van Cleef and Jack Palance. Lee Van Cleef, I've mentioned multiple times on this channel being one of my all-time favorite actors. I love Lee Van Cleef. And then I was very disappointed to read I read the synopsis in the back, and it's like, a man of the cloth, Van Cleef, is brutally murdered while trying to defend his dusty town from the ruthless band of outlaws led by the nasty Sam Clayton, played by Jack Palance. And I'm like, fuck, so he dies in the beginning of the movie? I'm like, shit, bro. I'm like, the sole purpose to grab this fucking movie was to see Lee Van Cleef, so... And I'm assuming that must happen in the beginning of the film, if, you know, it's on the synopsis, but I'm excited, man. Lee Van Cleef and Jack Palance in the same film. That's cool. Another 94 upgrade, which is The Puppet Masters with, I was going to say Kiefer Sutherland, because he looks just like his dad, Donald. He really does look like his dad. He sounds like him. He's the same person. Yeah, it's like he's like a hologram, younger version of Donald. Yeah, you know, I like this movie. I've always liked this movie. I've never loved this film. And I thought, you know, I have another shitty Blu-ray. I've had it on DVD and stuff. And I thought maybe the transfer might help because, you know, that's how crazy collector minds work and cinephiles minds work. They're like, well, new transfer, that'll make the movie 10 times better. Sometimes it does, though. I mean, if you've been watching some shit on some, like, really fucking terrible VHS transfers and shit, and don't give me that shit like, yeah, movies are better on VHS shit. Fuck off, man. When you can't even see what's going on in the movie, that's ridiculous. But yeah, no, the transfer's really good. I mean, when you get Kino on some transfers, you know you're going to get some shit going. It's still pretty entertaining. I don't love it. I just feel like it could be better for what it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's okay. It's not the most original storyline in the world. We've seen these storylines done before. In fact, it's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which Donald Sutherland also played in the remake in '78. So it's kind of like, it's kind of strange, but yeah, the Puppet Masters. All right, so a major necessary upgrade of the Alberto Di Martino film, which we actually just reviewed this film, I think, last Italian month on the podcast. So, and yeah, so I still got the old, what is it, Shriek Show DVD? Yeah, Shriek Show put it out. Antichrist. Yeah, man, Antichrist. And you know what? I still haven't even actually opened this. I'm going to actually just rip this open. I just got this in the mail a couple days ago, so I'm going to take this plastic off because I'm curious to see what... Look at that. Look at that shit. It's actually on backwards. How often does that happen when you open up a case for the first time? Right? So there it is, right? And you're expecting to see the artwork underneath, but it's the back. It's the back. Weird. Oh. So we just went through all that shenanigans for the same artwork, unless it has reversible. Oh, and it does. Oh, that's cool. It's actually under the Temper title. That's fucking awesome, dude. I'm super stoked that they did that. Because, you know, with Kino, you never really know if you're going to get reversible art or not. At least I don't. I don't really look into it because I like to be surprised. But then when they don't, I'm just like super let down and crying like a little bitch with a skin knee and shit. But yeah, the Temper... That's the alternate title for it. Yeah, I like the Antichrist, man. It's a fucking Exorcist ripoff. You know, it is what it is, man. From '74, so it's okay. Check out the review on the podcast if you want. Then I finally picked up a copy of Shadow's Land from Charles Bronson with Charles Bronson, also from Kino. Just slowly picking off these. I'm getting close to the end for the films that are on Blu-ray, and then I'll switch to the ones I need on DVD. But Bronson, one of my all-time favorite actors. I love Charles Bronson and everything. He's the fucking man, dude. He's the man. And actually, they did do reversible for this too. I think it was reversible. Did I reverse that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so that's cool. So that's actually really cool. And I know they just announced Violent City, which I'll be grabbing the 88 films release that because it's on the Italian line because I collect that entire line. And I love that movie, so that'll be an upgrade too from Blue Underground release that. But yeah, Shadow's Land. It's been forever since I've seen Shadow's Land. Yeah, it's been so long, man. But I'm sure it's good. I can't quite remember. All right, so I'm just going to kind of sneak my ass over here. Oh, so we're not doing too bad for time. 37 minutes in here. I'm just going to take these off because I don't feel like reaching. So, from Scream Factory, but we'll start with the one Shout Factory title I grabbed, which is Summer School, man. Summer School. Got a Blu-ray release from Shout Factory. This movie is fantastic. All you whoreheads out there know what I'm talking about, man. You know, if you watch this shit as a kid, you're like, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, there's a couple, it's got horror elements to it. You know, it's got a couple guys who are obsessed with horror films, so including a slasher fic addict, Dean Cameron. But yeah, Summer School is such a fun fucking movie, man. I love this. I'm so happy to finally have a good copy of this. But yeah, so it's Summer School, still sealed. Just got it in fact, I got a couple of these, and this is another. See, this I like this shit, man. I'm a big fan of the 90s. I know people are always like, the 90s suck. You know, if you really dig through it, man, there's lots of decent films. I'm not saying it's the best decade or nothing. I'm just saying I like it. So don't get it all fucking twisted. From 1992, we got Whispers in the Dark. And I want to say, I keep thinking this movie was a TV film, but I could be completely wrong. I think I've said that like 4 times, and I'm like, I correct myself every time. I'm like, no, it's not a TV film, Moods. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, I don't know why. There must be a TV film that came out around this time that's very close in name. Let me know if I'm just absolutely insane right now, or I'm on some type of shit right there. I'm going somewhere with this, but I have no idea. But Alan Alda is in this film, and that's pretty much all I know. Christopher Crowe directed it. I don't know, man. It's like I swear it was like a TV film, but I'm totally tripping. But yeah, it seems like it's more like a horror, like a thriller horror kind of thing. Look, it actually sounds kind of cool. And then we got The Temp, and this one I believe is from 90. It says 93. And I want it, like, I don't know what it is, but this one just comes off as being a TV film too. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the names. I have no idea. But this is actually a Tom Holland film, which I've never seen before. And I'm pretty sure Tom Holland didn't really do any TV films, so that kind of scratches that one out. But yeah, it's a Tom Holland film I've never seen, man. Tom Holland, of course, did Fright Night for the people who are like, who the fuck is Tom Holland? He's not a household name. Yeah, and of course, Child's Play. It even says Child's Play on the back. But yeah, of course, he had Child's Play. But yeah, The Temp. I'm looking forward to checking this out. Holland film I've never seen. All right, so 4K of The Howling from Scream Factory. I did watch this the other night. Of course, directed by Joe Dante. And yeah, the transfer looks really good. I never thought that The Howling looked overly that crazy good ever. It always seemed kind of like flat to me for some odd. Maybe it's because the movie's shot mostly at night and it's kind of low lighting. It's probably just the settings of it. But, you know, it does look really good. It does look really good. Dee Snider's awesome in it. Slim Pickens, probably the best non-porn name ever. Is that actually his real fucking name, Slim Pickens? I don't know. I never actually looked into that. John Carradine, of course, is in the film. Minor role, getting a little bit older. But Slim Pickens, man, that name. That's almost as good as Dick Buttkiss. And I made that joke while I was reviewing Deadly Games. Because, you know, Dick Buttkiss, that's the best real name ever. It really is. But yeah, The Howling. Yeah, they didn't do commission art for this. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they didn't do anything with this. It's just that. There is no reversible nothing. So, Scream Factory, you know. But sometimes when they do commission artwork, it's absolutely atrocious. But The Howling 4K. Cool stuff. On that note, Alligator on 4K. Are you kidding me? This movie just finally gets a great release and it just goes straight to 4K. It's an upgrade though. I do have double pack. I don't know. I have another one or something of it. I can't remember. I do have the VHS actually. That's what I'm probably referring to. I'm probably getting it fucked up with something else, but Alligator. But here's the original artwork, which is iconic and awesome. That's the VHS artwork, poster art. This is ugly as fuck. This is horrible. This is one of the worst artworks ever. Like this, like, what is this? Is this are they trying to entice people with this artwork to buy our new 4K? It's got awesome new commissioned artwork, guys. Yeah. We spent all of 4 minutes on this shit. Photoshop that shit. Yeah, that is fucking terrible. I honestly laughed my ass off when I first saw the artwork reveal on that. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Like, who in their right mind would just have this thing? Ugly. Transfer looks fantastic on this. It really did look good. I was so amazed by it. Robert Forster, I love him to death. Rest in peace to Robert Forster, who passed away, I think, last year, the year before? Maybe it was early last year. He was such a great act. I loved Robert Forster and everything. But yeah, Alligator, good shit, man. Then we got Alligator 2, again with Steve Rails back. This movie sucks. It really does suck. This was a film I had to pick up. I was like, I'm not grabbing one without two. You know, it is what it is. And plus the artwork's really good on it. From 1991, I rewatched this just a while back when we did the 91 top 10 show. And I gave it actually a really shit rating because I watched a really bad transfer. It does look good. It does look pretty good on here. But the movie just sucks, man. I don't know what the hell's up with this thing, man. It's got like Richard Lynch in it. It's got Dee Wallace. It's got fucking Bill Daly, Steve Railsback. What? Like, how are you messing up this shit, man? The story... I know, going back to the stories, but it really is just... It's super bland. The movie's bland. But awesome artwork, though, man. Maybe I'll watch it again in 20 years. Then they dipped into the Warner Brothers archive. Well, this actually says Paramount on it. Why did I think this was Warner Brothers? I swear I have a Warner Brothers DVD of this. Or is it a Warner Brothers? I don't know. Upgrade of lipstick. Margot Hemingway, rest in peace to her. Chris Sarandon is also in the movie, again, from Fright Night. Pretty good, like, rape revenge type film. From what, 77? 76. Yeah, this made some lists on our 76 show. Again, with all the years that we've done top 10s. This actually made some people, I know it made Jeremy's list. But yeah, I've never seen Lipstick. Actually, give it a shot. It's a pretty good movie. Like, legitimately good movie. Then we got Paranoiac. Yeah, Paranoiac. Directed by Freddie Francis. I love me some Freddie Francis. I think he was on my top 50 directors list. No, he was on my top. I love me some Freddie Francis, and I love me some Oliver Reed. Now, Oliver Reed, it's just the irony in this movie is just crazy because, you know, if you know the stories of Oliver Reed, he had a major drinking problem, and he was drunk in a lot of movies for like a long time, and actually went out The story has it, he got super drunk one night, drank way too much, arm wrestled everybody to death, and had a fucking heart attack and died. I'm pretty sure that's kind of accurate. Like, I know he drank a lot and arm wrestled and died and shit, but while he was doing, was it Gladiator? Yeah, when he was filming Gladiator, I think is what it was. But anyways, Oliver Reed, and the reason why I'm telling this story is because, or giving this context is because, I'm spitting everywhere, COVID, is because he plays a fucking brutal piece of shit, white privileged, drunk asshole in this movie. It's hilarious. Like, he's so ridiculously privileged. It's insane. Like, his parents have died and he gets an allowance from like their accountant, but he's just such a dick about it because he keeps spending all the money on brandy and shit, and he's just being an asshole about it, and it's ridiculous, man. But it's a good performance, man. This is from 1963. This is a pretty early Oliver Reed shit here, but this is a good movie, man. I really enjoyed this shit. You know, I mean, the ending's a little bit predictable, kind of, but it's still really good. I thought this was a good one, so good job on this one. I've never seen this one before. Good job, Scream Factory. And last up for the Scream Factory titles, we got the remakes of the Slumber Party Massacre. Now, when this first got announced, I was like, oh, it's going to play on TV right away. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking like some terrible new age sci-fi shit that no one's going to give two flying fucks about. So I was pretty hesitant on checking this out. And it's actually done by Shout Studios, right? Oh shit. Crazy. So they actually made this movie. So I was kind of taken back by this, that they didn't just do like a full-on shot-for-shot fucking Psycho 98 remake of Slumber Party Massacre. They did something different with this, and I thought it really did work. It's pretty funny, not over-the-top funny. I thought the kills were pretty decent. I thought it could have been amped up a little bit considering what it was, but there's some good moments in this film. I was quite impressed with this. Yeah, his slipcover is the same. It's kind of a shame that they didn't do custom for this because it's kind of bland. But definitely worth a shot, man. I mean, if you got an open mind, you know, not all remakes are shitty. So, Slumber Party Massacre. Good stuff. All right, so we got some 88 films here. We got The Nun and the Devil, a film I've never seen. And, of course, you guys know with my Italian line, I don't actually keep the slipcovers on, so that's just going to go into a box. Number 64. Here's the original Italian title here. Nunsploitation film I have actually never seen before, so I'm looking forward to this because I like literally never heard about this. Yeah, man. They mentioned Ken Russell's The Devils. Yeah, so Nun and the Devil. So let me know if you guys have seen this one. I'm really looking forward to checking this out. So I love me some Nunsploitation, if you didn't notice. Then we got The Violent Professionals. This is like another copy for me. Fuck. Slipcover going in the box. Right there. It's a good film from Sergio Martino. Yeah, it's been a minute. I think I have who put this out? Code Red, I think, originally put this out. This is I actually checked this. I wanted to check out the transfer, and it looked pretty damn good. So they did something new. Yeah, it's a new 2K transfer. So yeah, it definitely looks a lot better than the Code Red one, which, you know, really isn't that surprising. But The Violent Professionals with Luke Miranda, I remember it being good shit. All right, so we got a couple of the Region 1 releases of the Shaw Brothers line, and we got The Flag of Iron, which is number 24 in the range, and that's the original artwork right there. I'll have reviews coming up for these soon. You'll probably see them next week. So I still need to actually watch these. I've never seen both these, but I'll be watching these soon and doing reviews of The Flag of Iron. And then we got Legendary Weapons of China. I've heard this one's really good. Kind of a crazy one. Yeah. Got Chu Chan Lang in it. That's awesome. Original artwork here, right there. I love me some Shaw Brothers. And yeah, speaking of that, so I did have the Shaw Brothers. Well, I had the box set. I had to return the Shaw Brothers box set that I had got, the Shaw Scope set, because it came and it was, one side was completely crushed in this box. It literally had a footprint on it. I'm like, what the fuck? I spent like, what, 180, whatever the fuck it is on it, $200, and the shit's all fucked up. So I had to send it back. It took forever. to get there, and then it actually just shipped today. Out of all days, doing the update, and it actually just shipped out. And I'm like, fuck, it took forever to get here, and oh my god, it's what a hassle. I'm so fucking tired of the mail. I hate the mail. All right, so getting into some Mondo Macabro titles, which actually reminds me I need to put out some of the regular editions, so I gotta grab those. Human Animals. This is one I've been looking forward to checking out for a long time, man. I might even do a review of this, man. This one just looks amazing. It's a Spanish film. Looks insane. I've heard really good things about this. So, yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic thing, it sounds like, which is even cooler. I didn't even really know that, but awesome. Human Animals. And then this one I know nothing about. It's Nothing Mama, Just a Game. But it's got David Hemmings in it, which is interesting. So, another Spanish film. Yeah, this one kind of looks crazy. I don't know what this is on the back. What is that, a dog right there? Or it looks like a deer head or something, like attacking this woman. So maybe this has got some more animal shit in it too. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, It's Nothing Mama, Just a Game. Pretty cool. And I picked up Sins of the Flesh. I've heard this is such a bizarre film. And I remember reading the synopsis. I can't quite remember exactly, but I've heard this is a fucking bizarre film. Yeah, it's a French film from 1974 called Sins of the Flesh. From the director of Pussy Talk. Oh yeah, Pussy Talk. I love Pussy Talk. Sins of the Flesh. I don't think it's like porno or nothing, but I think it has elements of lots of sexuality, so we'll see. All right, so getting into, here's some of the Vinegar Syndrome affiliate labels from the site here. The new AGFA film, which is The Monster of Camp Sunshine, and it also has, what else does it have? And Honeymoon of Terror. Yeah, so Honeymoon of Terror is the slipcover. AGFA does good slipcovers. Yeah. These releases are always fantastic, man. Short movies, running like 64, 62, 74 minutes, so like early 60s film, 1961, 64, black and whitish. I really like these type of movies. They're fun, so they're always good to throw on, especially when you're having some drinks, man. They're always good for a laugh, man. They're always good. They're always good entertainment. Then we got the new two from Fun City Editions. We got Morver and Calver. Now this one, I can't remember exactly what the synopsis is now, but it sounded really interesting. I really like this Fun City Editions label, man. They're putting out some really intriguing films, and pretty much everything they're dropping I've never even heard of, with the exception of maybe one title. So that's always cool to me. And the label specifies in films that don't really fit into any type of other kind of genre or subgenre of they kind of films that stand on their own. So that's very intriguing to me. So I really like this type of shit. So yeah, this one, don't really know too much about it. This one almost sounds like it's like porno. I want to say it really is, but I'm not sure. And it's Blithus. Love the slipcover on this. It's fantastic. I'm not even sure if I took that one off or not. Did I? Yeah. No, the artwork underneath here is not the coolest, but yeah, no, this is a cool slipcover, man, for Blithus. This one seems like a little bit more sexual. That's actually what they've released so far. Alphabet City was fantastic, man. Walking the Edge was fantastic. Rancho Deluxe was fantastic. They released some really cool films. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure this one is it's a little bit more sexual and shit, but I don't know. It seems like more of like a kind of dark thriller or something. I don't know. Something on those lines. And then we got the two new ones from Saturn's Core, which is a label that does shot on video films from the 80s and 90s. And here's Sinister. And I hadn't seen this in a long time. I did have the SRS DVD. It was a double feature. And I didn't really remember it at all. But man, oh man, dude. Like, this is a good shot on video film, man. This is like a legitly good film. I was really taken back by this, man. It's basically a bunch of crazy shit's happening in this house. Kind of the short and long of it. After a bank robbery kind of goes fucking south and shit. And there's some crazy shit that's going on in this, man. And it's got good effects. Like, this is legit. This is legit, decently made shot on video film. I highly recommend this, man. It's really good. Good shit, man. Sinister from 1994. And this is the weirdest shit. So we get 1994 as a random year on the podcast. And Saturn's Core has released, I think, 5 films out of the first, like, 8 or 9 releases are from 94. It's just the weirdest shit. I don't know how we luck out with this, but we do. And then we got double feature here of Red Spirit Lake and We Wait. So that's pretty cool. Double-sided slipcover. Very much kind of in the vein of what Vinegar Syndrome does. Here's the, I guess, their original double feature. I don't know if it was actually an original double feature, but, you know, that looks cool and shit. A couple shot on video films from 1993 and 1996. I've heard of Red Spirit Lake before, and We Wait, I'm sure I read about it in my shot on video book. I'm pretty fucking sure that rings a bell. But man, these things just have tons of features and shit. Like, sometimes the features are a little bit more interesting than the films themselves, but this is a good release, man. Good release. Same price, you know, kind of thing for 2 films. Can't go wrong. All right, Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Dead Heat on 4K. Yeah, Dead Heat on 4K. Ridiculous. And the transfer does look really good. I gotta say, I love that artwork. It's fantastic. Joe Piscopo, Treat Williams. Yeah, Treat Williams gets killed, gets reanimated. Yeah, he's the dead cop. We've all probably seen Dead Heat, but it looks good, man. It looks good. It's still a fun movie. Joe Piscopo's like one-liners are still so bad, but it always makes me laugh. It's hilarious. But yeah, Dead Heat on 4K. Crazy. Masters of the World. This is a really weird Italian kind of... It's based like, you know, it's almost like caveman days. The dawn of human civilization 100,000 years ago. Yeah, so with that said, there's like no dialogue in this movie. It's basically just like a lot of grunting and a lot of shit that's going down and stuff with some pretty brutal violence and shit. Yeah, you know, it's definitely not going to be for everybody. It's an interesting way of kind of making an Italian ripoff of one of these type of movies without dialogue. It's definitely kind of unique. Like I said, though, this is one that, I mean, you could really just throw it on and have some beers with some buddies and not really miss a beat with it because, you know, it is what it is. But I got to finish it, though. I actually I was watching this shit and I fell asleep and I never finished it. So I got to finish. I watched like the first, I want to say 45, probably half of it, 45 minutes. Oh, it's 105. Holy shit, it's a long movie. But I got to go back to it and finish it. So I can't really give my full thoughts on it because I only watched half of it. And I always rip on people that write reviews on IMDb and like they give this long ass tendered review and in the middle of it says, I never even finished the movie, but fuck this shit. And they go, I'm like, your review is void, man. You didn't even finish the movie. You don't have an opinion on it, idiot. Curfew. This was kind of a surprise because I do have the VHS of this. And I'd actually never watched the VHS before. I'd never actually seen this film. From what I remember, I don't think I'd ever seen this movie. It didn't ring a bell. It's not the greatest thing in the world. But it was okay. And it's the odd thing about this movie, it has, what's her name in it? The girl from Kyle Richards from the original. She's the little girl from Halloween is in this film. It's kind of weird to see her grown up because this is what, like 10, 11 years later, 89. It's like a home invasion film. These guys escape from jail and they're out for some revenge and shit like that. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Then we got the amazing, man, this is the update full of great shot on video films. Savage Harvest, man. It's such a good one. Such a good film from Eric Stanze. If you've never seen Savage Harvest, you got to check it out, man. It's crazy how much story that Stanze wrote for this, man. And I'm sure it's based off of like legends and, you know, Native American legends and myths and stuff like that also, and just kind of elaborated on the story and shit. But it's cool, man. It's got good gore. It's just a really, really well done shot on video film. Like, you know, I mean that with a lot of respect too, because, you know, those films can be tough to make, but you can tell the heart in this, and it's pretty well done. It really is. And this shot on video film probably has the most story out of any shot on video film ever shot, hands down. It really does. But it doesn't take away because it's more of a story that's told and then the movie happens kind of thing, and it's intriguing. It's pretty interesting. So, but yeah, it's good, man. It always gets kind of lumped in as being like a demonic demon, kind of like an Evil Dead ripoff and shit like that. You know, you can kind of put it that way. It's kind of what it is a little bit, but, you know, go with the flow. Savage Harvest, good shit. Love it. and that is also from 94. It's just absolutely insane. Then we got Sister Sister. This was a first time watch for me. I didn't really know much about this one. What caught my eye on this one was had Bill Condon in it and Eric Stoltz. What year is this? 87, so this would have been coming straight off of when he got kicked off of Back to the Future. But the selling point for me was Jennifer Jason Leigh. And I love Jennifer Jason Leigh, man. She's been in lots of really good movies, man. Like, lots of really good movies. That movie, Hearts of Atlantis. Was it Hearts of Atlantis? No. Hearts. Oh, shit. It came around this time. I can't remember. Kino released it. Title. I even reviewed the movie. Heart of Midnight, I think it's what it's called. It's a fucking trippy movie, man. But I think she's a great actress, man. This one, the movie's pretty decent. It's decent. It's got some pretty atmospheric scenes and things like that. Jennifer Jason Leigh knocks out the park, man. She always seems to do really good accents and shit. Yeah, it's basically they're sisters and they're running this kind of bed and breakfast thing, and people show up there and things are happening and there's a history there. I don't want to give everything away, but it was decent. It's decent. Kind of an interesting release for Vinegar Syndrome. Speaking of interesting releases, we got Drop Dead Fred. Yes, on Vinegar Syndrome. Crazy. I know Severin was supposed to release this and something obviously didn't have the rights or whatever. And our people over at Vinegar Syndrome ended up dropping Drop Dead Fred. Probably the most bizarre title that they've ever released on their label because, you know, it's just a bizarre comedy. You know, it's still bizarre, but it's not a horror. It's not really exploitation. It just kind of sits on a shelf by itself in their catalog. It's kind of a weird one. I haven't seen this one forever, man. I did remember it when I was watching it the other night, though. Phoebe Cates, absolutely beautiful. Carrie Fisher's in this movie. And the dude, what's his name? Rick Mael, the guy that plays Fred. Man, dude, that guy's just like batshit in this, man. Just so many crazy scenarios and shit like that. Yeah, Phoebe Cates, it's like her imaginary friend from her childhood and stuff like that. And he comes back when she's older, and I'm sure we all have seen Drop Dead Fred, but good transfer. Really good transfer. Good film. Very, very fun film. So, really enjoyed that. Madman 4K. I was contemplating, like, not grabbing this right away, but I was like, you know what? I was super curious on the transfer because Madman's always had these odd transfers throughout the year where I think it was Code Red. They put out a DVD and they compromise the integrity of like the blue hue in the sky and stuff, or throughout the film, and it was like all red. It was all fucked up and shit. I can't remember. I've got so many releases of this. I can't remember which one's which. And so I was curious to see what the transfer looked like on 4K, if they kept that blue hue and everything. Kind of, the transfer is really good. Like there's a lot of grain in it, which I'm fine with. I know some people don't, but the picture's still really good. And the blue hue throughout the film is really well done. It really kind of pops and stuff. You know, it's still a decent film. Madman has always been kind of like a middle tier slasher film for me. I know it's kind of crazy. A lot of people are like, I love Madman. I love it to death. You're crazy. Yeah, I'm probably crazy, but it's just, you know, I like it. I like it. It's like a 7.5 for me. You know, there's elements I like. I like Madman Mars. I like the story of it. I like the cinematography. It's just the whole movie is just kind of bland to me sometimes, but I still enjoy it. The music's cool. But yeah, Madman, if you're wondering about the transfer, it looks pretty interesting. It looks good. I'm not really too sure about the slipcover, to be honest. I don't know, man. I think the back's better than this. I don't know. I just love the original artwork so much. Then we got Beware, Children at Play, another upgrade for myself. Fuck, man. I love that these Troma films are getting, well, the Troma distributed films are getting all these upgrades and shit. Beware, Children at Play is like such a ridiculous movie, basically about these kids and parents and shit that are going missing for a reason, and you know, they kind of pop up. It's like a really budgeted kind of cultish Children of the Corn type film in a sense. It has its moments, but I will say the transfer is fantastic on this. I just couldn't believe it, man. Going from Troma's old school full screen DVD to this shit, man, I was like, whoa. It's crazy how your memory just like goes back to that and you're like, holy shit, that transfer's good. Like, it's crazy, man, how good the transfer is. It fucking blows my mind. I don't know why everything always surprises me that Vinegar Syndrome does good transfers. It's like, they just do. And here's one I knew nothing about. So one of the new VSAs, it's number 20, yeah, it's number 21, whatever, which is Wolfpack, and it's basically kind of like a teen social drama, kind of exploitation. It's, you know, there's this dude that comes to the school, and he's a jock, but he's like kind of wants to be part of like student council, but he's kind of against what the football team's against, so it becomes like a people struggle, almost like a political struggle a little bit and stuff. And you know, it's teenage shit, but it's kind of like adult orientated. Actually, it really is. It's got some good moments in it, man. Pretty cool film. Watched this the other night. I was having a couple scotches. I'm like, this is actually a really interesting movie for Vinegar Syndrome to be releasing. So, yeah, man, it's cool, man. It's got some good shit going on in it. So give Wolfpack a shot if you haven't checked it out. And last up for the Vinegar Syndrome VSA number 20, which is Fortress of America. Speaking of amazing Troma upgrades, I was like ashamed of myself that I had this sitting on the shelf for years and years and years in my Troma selection, or in the section, and the DVD was still wrapped. I hadn't even unwrapped it, man. So I never watched it. I was like, what the fuck? It was funny because when this got announced from Vinegar Syndrome, I was like, do I own that? And I kept questioning because I thought I did, but yeah, I'd never watched it, so that's why I couldn't remember. But yeah, Fortress of America. So I popped it in right away. I was like, I gotta check this out, man. Man, this shit is ridiculous, man. It is just absolutely ridiculous, man, about this group of people in the forest next to sleepy Troma City. So it's actually like takes place like outside of Troma City and stuff like that. And yeah, it's basically like they're training people to like fight, and like all this crazy shit happens. It's just so ridiculous. There's so much like unnecessary violence and kills and like just nut shit, man. Oh man, I couldn't, like, it says right on the back, heavy censored R-rated version that was floating around before. I couldn't even imagine watching this with all the tits and all the exploitation and all the blood and gore and shit. It's ridiculous, dude. Like they're just it's such a blast, man. It's a messy movie, but it's amazing. Fortress of America with the triple K. Oh man, this was such a blast. Highly recommend that. It's good shit. All right, so an update wouldn't be complete without some box sets. Here, we'll start with this one from 88 Films. I mean, it's just a special edition. It's not really a box set, but Armor of God, Jackie Chan. I got the special treatment, so I really wanted to pick this up, and I had actually planned to watch this the other night. I was going to do a double feature with the second one, and something fell through. I don't know what happened. I ended up like starting movies late, and I couldn't do a double feature, so I haven't checked it out yet. So I've actually never seen Armor of God, believe it or not, or the sequel. I know it's like sacrilegious because I've seen so many Jackie Chan movies, but I've never seen these ones. Go figure. I know this movie is like it's basically kind of like a rip. Not, I wouldn't say a rip off, but it's in the vein of like an Indiana Jones kind of adventure film, and which is kind of interesting to see Jackie Chan doing something like that. So I'm just really curious. You guys have probably all seen it. It comes with the booklet, of course, poster, and all the ridiculousness, and it just feels like a damn brick. You could knock someone out to death, knock someone to died. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. Next up here from Eureka, we got Cinematic Vengeance, 8 Kung Fu classics from director Joseph Q. Yeah, man. So we got the 7 Grandmasters, the 36 Deadly Styles, the World of Drunken Master, the Old Master, Shaolin Kung Fu, the Shaolin Kings, 18 Bronzemen, and the Return of 18 Bronzemen. So I have watched half of these so far, and these are fantastic. Like, they're all period pieces. Yeah, the 7 Grandmasters. Yeah, these are, like, honestly, man, these are just fun-ass flicks, man. It's kind of funny because obviously the same director did all these movies, but like you can tell there's so much similarities in style and just everything that's going on in these movies, even like storylines and things like that. Yeah, man, like really, really fun stuff. Like the Shaolin Kung Fu, Shaolin Kids, 18 Bronze and Return. Those are the 4 that I've watched so far. But I can't get enough of these, man. I got to pick up some more of these Eureka Kung Fu movies and shit, man, because they're just fantastic. They're really good. I highly recommend this box. Oh, I didn't even show the... So, yeah, this is the way they come. They're pretty cool. So you got artwork like that. Flip it around. So, yeah, they're on 2 discs, right? And they do actually come... That's actually the reversible, so it actually does come like that. For that disc. Case, I should say. And we got the 7 Grandmasters and the other one. Can't remember. Yeah, so pretty cool. 2 discs, and yeah, and then we got this shit, man. So that's probably what you'll see when you open it up, if you decide to pick it up. Highly recommend these if you're into, you know, old kung fu films and shit, man. Like, they're awesome. So, yeah, 74 to 79. So this is all 70 shit right here. Pretty cool. And then we picked up, I had to grab this. I don't think I have any of these. I don't think I had any of these on DVD. I don't remember these floating around when collecting all those old Troma DVDs and shit. But I picked up the Sexy Box. I know all these movies are directed by Kaufman, and I think Kurtz actually like co-directed. I think they're both involved in these. So they're like basically sex comedies, and I'm a big fan. I think they all are. They're like sex comedies, but I'm a big fan of sex comedies. So yeah, Waitress. I might actually have the DVD for this. I think the artwork's different, but Stuck on You, Troma, and The First Turn On. This album, or this, I was gonna say this album cover, but this cover, the fucking thing. Guy's putting a fucking hot dog in her mouth, like. Oh man, this is so good. Yeah, I picked this one up. This was actually relatively cheap. I think it was only like 30 bucks or something. It was crazy. It was super cheap. So yeah. And of course, last from Vinegar Syndrome, we've got Forgotten Gialli Volume 4. I believe that there's another one coming this year, and I'm so excited, man, that they keep putting these out. But so Upgraded, the Sister of Ursula. I'm super stoked to get an upgrade on this because I love this movie. This has the greatest murder weapon ever in a giallo. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. It's fucking sleazy as all living hell. I don't know why I keep seeing living. It's weird. The Killer is Still Among Us. I've heard of this. I didn't really know much about this. I actually was getting this mixed up with another movie. I heard Simon, Explosive Action, talking about this, how he actually was involved with this and he did like a new transfer for it and stuff, and like they were putting this thing out like back in the day and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting story, one of his latest updates. But shout out to Explosive Action also, as usual. But yeah, so I gotta watch this one. And then of course this one I had no idea. Arnabella, Black Angel. This one right here I just had no clue. But I was shocked to see that this one was from 1989. I'm like, whoa, that is a late giallo. Like, Plentiful Six, yeah. Like, I couldn't believe it when I read 1989, man. Like, I can only think of a couple actual giallos that came out after that. Like, Body Puzzle from Lamberto Bava was in, like, 92. And I thought that was crazy late, man. Like, I know there's been a couple recently, like, kind of these giallo, Italian giallos. But that one's really fucking late to the game, man. But The Killer is Among Us is actually from 86 also. See, that's late to the game too, man. That's nuts. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm assuming that the theme here is more sexually orientated, considering Sister of Ursula, what I know about that one and this cover. And I'm assuming this one is like that too. So, but yeah, Forgotten Gialli Volume 4, I'm looking forward to 5. I know there's definitely a 5 coming out, so that's going to be cool. And holy shit, this update was way bigger than I thought it was. It's probably also because I watched so many of these too. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the update. I'll be back again bi-monthly. I've had people ask me recently, why do these updates bi-monthly? If you don't know, it's because I have so much problem getting stuff in the mail. Things take so long that by the end of the month, everything I order at the beginning of the month sometimes is not even there. So I just do them bi-monthly so it can kind of build up a little bit, or else. I mean, but then again, doing half of this, but it wouldn't even be half because I seem to get all my shit in the last like 2 weeks before I do my update. So I have these fucking ridiculous stacks of unopened movies. Anyways, that's going to do it for the update. This has gone on. Wow. Like, this is a long one. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Check out the reviews I just did. There's more coming up. I'm going to be doing a bunch of new